think whoever joining, if they can just mute themselves, because then it becomes little disrupting.
I'll mute. And
Yeah,
then
I think they're all mute now.
all mute now, yes. Of course, you can later on ask your questions, and in between,
Sure.
also, if you have, I can just put it on the chat. Hey, hi Sonal, hi Rakesh, Bhavna, you guys have just joined in. And like I was just like mentioning to the others, that I met Shaista in Dubai when she was attending the Journey workshop. So the Journey workshop was being hosted here in Dubai, and she was one of the participants, and I was there as the assist team. And after that, like, I stayed in touch with her, and I got to know about this amazing family constellation work that she does. And hey, Bhavna. Yes, hi. So I attended the family constellation workshop that she had in Dubai, and of course it was really really nice. And I've had this in mind since then, that I wanted to bring this also to the Change with Renee group, because it's important, and I've realized that there are so many things that we need to work on for ourselves. We have to work on our conscious mind, we need to work at the subconscious levels, we need to work at the energetic levels, and then there is also the family dynamics that we have to deal with. Sometimes if everything is going right with that, but still there are some family dynamics that we also need to work on. So this is basically the work that Shaista does. And very happy. Thank you, Shaista, for coming on the group, for sharing it.
I love doing this, so always a pleasure.
Yes. Okay. So
I'm even dreaming of constellations, so it's that deep now.
yeah, you're dreaming of constellations when you
I'm
say.
dreaming, and yeah. So, I mean, I love doing this work, so it was a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
being here.
I've attended your workshop. You know it. I came there along with Sumit. I was there as a
Hmm.
participant, and I did see, the how it can affect a person's life and in what ways. And of course, these are very deep things, which of course
Absolutely.
you're going to tell us about now. So over to you, Shaista. Take it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Shugufta, for the introduction. Sometimes I find it really difficult to introduce myself, so you did. You managed that bit. So just give me a minute. I would like to share a PPT. It's actually hands-on. When the PPT is there, I make sure that I don't forget everything. All right. Okay. And while I'm talking about this, if anybody has a question, please feel free to ask. Okay, that will be, uh, just ignore this bit because my system is like asking for too many things these days. Okay, so family constellation is actually a systemic therapy. So I'll start. What is this? Okay, it's actually a very, very recent therapy, like about maybe 25, 30 years. And there's a lot of research still going on with regards to what all family constellation can deal with and how it actually works. Because uh, sometimes we feel that we find ourselves in many repeated emotions, behaviors, and toxic relationships, patterns, blocks in successful career or successful passion. And no matter how much we want to move on in life, how much potential we have the skill sets, we have everything going on absolutely fine, but something seems to block our way, and sometimes we don't really know what it is. Likewise, when we are in a relationship and we have the right person, we got married to the right person, everything seems to be going fine, and all of a sudden things start going in another direction, and we are not aware, we're not sure why this could be happening. And we have actually, since our childhood, made to be we have believed, while we are growing up with our parents and in the environment that we were in, that we are separate from everything else. So whatever is happening inside of us, it's just us, me, my emotions, and that's it. We have never realized that how much connected we are to the sufferings of our parents, to the unmet dreams of our ancestors, my grandfather, grandmother, what all they went through. That also could be impacting me, even if we have not met them or seen them, even if you don't have an idea of how their lives were. So they may have been a case where, for example, my grandfather, he went to a war and never came back, or they went for a pilgrimage and never came back. Or, for example, a grandmother, she passed away too soon, leaving 5, 6 children behind. So when we grow up hearing these stories, we feel that, it's just a story and it's not having an impact on us, but it already has an impact on us. So when we are in the womb of a mother, for example, we are already in those energies. We are already in an ongoing story of our ancestors. It's already started to impact us, whether we realize it or not. So separation is only an illusion. We are never separate from our family system. It's very, very important to understand that. And it's about time that we are aware of these things, how systemically we are affected by whatever has gone on in our family, even before we were born. So like I've seen in constellation therapy that 4, 5, 6 generations are also affected by something that happened 4, 5, 6 generations ago. Something that happened so many years ago, even if there's no record of it, even if we have not heard of the stories, that if there was a trauma or if there was anything that was not resolved 3, 4, 5 generations ago, that seems to trickle down in later generations and can manifest as physical illnesses, chronic diseases, relationship issues, finding it very difficult to make money, for example, financial success. Everything is going fine in the business, and all of a sudden, boom, it goes down, and the person doesn't know why this is happening. Even behavioral issues in children are actually affected by transgenerational trauma. And transgeneration means that systematically, whatever has happened before us, before we were born in our family system, has affected the later generation. And whatever has affected us, if it's unresolved, if it remains unhealed, and we don't want to look at that situation, or we don't want to look at a unresolved emotion like a fear or an anxiety or depression, and it's ongoing, it's very much likely that it's going to affect our children. And once they're going to grow up and form their own relationships to themselves and to the others, they're going to be hugely affected by that because it remains energetically unresolved. So we are an extension to an ongoing story that has happened even before we were born.
Is this
not
Shaista, just 1 second. I just
sure
want
sure
to ask you one question here.
sure
So when you say that there could have been something going on in our family, like say even 4 or 5 generations ago, which of course there's no record of, and we might not know anything what happened, like with our great
exactly
grandparents. But you're saying that these things get passed on from generation to generation,
and it gets passed down biologically
because cells have memory, right? And this is a proven research now that cells have memory, and this gets passed on genetically from generation to generation.
Epigenetics, that's what it's called.
That's what epigenetics all about, right? That cell has memory, and it holds on to it, and it gets passed on from generation to generation.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So if you think of yourself in the womb of your mother. Okay, I'll give you a very live example. If you are in the womb of your mother, as a female, you already have eggs for the lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, so your next generation is already there while you are in the womb of your mother. So biologically, 3 generations are already connected. Your mother, you, and the future eggs that you are carrying inside of you. So biologically, so whatever is happening to your mother, it is also likely to affect your children at a later stage.
And yes, we have seen that, that we feel that, we have seen these habits and things passing on from generation to generation. So
exactly.
So it's not very difficult to relate to this example, of course.
Sometimes I'll give you another example because I'm studying all the time about these things. So there are many examples in my mind. For example, sexual abuse. So if a grandmother was sexually abused in her childhood, it's a trauma. It has happened. It's traumatic. and it has a memory which is stored now in that lifetime, right? Once this lady grows up, maybe it happened for a longer period of time, or maybe it was just a isolated experience, but it still is a trauma. Something happened, boundaries were violated, something went at that time. Once my grandmother grew up, or that grandmother grows up and forms their own relationship, uh, it's most likely that the daughter is also going to attract a similar experience. And often what has been observed is that women don't really talk about it. There's shame and guilt associated with it, but the trauma and the energy of it is also there. So there's a lot of chance that the daughter is also going to attract something similar. And when she grows, and she's also keeping quiet, she's not working on it, it's again unresolved. What will happen if, when this daughter grows up and forms her own relationship and perhaps has a daughter or a son, they're also probably going to attract something similar. So it's definitely going to go down till somebody lands up in a constellation now, for example, and gets it sorted out, gets it healed, gets it a resolution finally. So imagine, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I'll ask you my question. Something has come to my mind, but I'll ask you that. You finish what you were
Sure,
saying. Yes.
sure. So it's important to understand, we all know that we inherit physical features from our ancestors. The looks, the complexion, the height, everything is coming from them. And all of a sudden, sometimes you see your cousin and they would remind you of a grandparent, or they could feel very similar to your own parent as well, because it's like all connected. But again, like I said, unprocessed and unexpressed emotions. So sometimes if the fear belonged to the grandfather, or the insecurity of money belonged to a grandparent, and they've not dealt with it, it gets exactly passed down to the later generation. So unexpressed emotions, their sufferings, their trauma, fears, belief systems, it's as deep as that. And I think it's about time that we have to start looking within ourselves. If we have any issues out there, it's about time we dig deeper within our own self. What is it that I'm carrying from my ancestors? It's a big question.
Yeah. So here is where my question comes in. But that is what I
Okay.
wanted to ask you. So what I wanted to ask you, and is it okay, right, if I ask you in between, or
Ha
do we?
ha ha. Let's just
Huh,
free flow.
yeah, free flow, because I don't want to forget this. So
No, no, no.
so you did mention about, looking into yourself, having an introspection, realizing where your belief systems are, where your blocks are. So is it not enough then to just work on yourself? Because there are a lot of people here who I know who've worked on themselves. The journey was one such program where we work on ourselves, right? And you've done that. Bhavna here on the group has also done the journey. I have done the journey. So basically, that's something. Zeba has done a lot of self work on herself as well. So this is something that we do on ourselves to release our emotions, our traumas, our fears, belief systems, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So is that not enough? Is that not enough?
Okay. So I'll give you an example of my own personal journey. That for the longest period of time, I was into other kinds of methods, hypnotherapy, and past lives and things like that. But there were still so many questions that were not answered through those methods. So the difference between other methods and family constellation is that with other methods, we are only working on ourselves. But with this method, we are actually working on the entire system to which we belong. And that's a very unique system. So when I have a client, my client is not the only person who is my client. Their family system also becomes my client at that point of time.
Yeah.
So it's like the perspective increases many, many times. And the effect of family constellation therapy also goes like that. So it works like a ripple effect. Once you heal, even if you're not dragging your children to the sessions, if you're not dragging your husband or your siblings, they tend to get healed as a result. And I've seen it in my own personal case, where I've been dedicated to this work for the past 3.5 years now, very much passionate about this work. And I've seen changes happening around me with my brother, sister, my own children. My son had vitiligo around his eyes, it just disappeared. you know so I've seen changes happening, and changes happening in the distant cousins as well. So they're not in touch with me, but when I do this work, I see some resonance happening there. So it works like a ripple effect. That's the difference which I personally have discovered and understood in comparison to, other methods.
But that doesn't mean that you stop working on yourself, right? So what I mean,
Absolutely not.
you have to work
No.
on yourself, and you need to do this as well to take care of your family system.
Yes, no. So there's one thing to remember here. If there is one issue in our lives that doesn't just get over, no matter how much therapy work we are doing around it, energy work, past lives, but still it's not getting over or resolved fully, then we have to look at the family system.
Yeah.
It's not going to go over just like that. Family system needs to be resolved. Whatever energetically you are carrying from them could be a burden, could be lack of acknowledgement, or whatever it is. Or if there were traumatic experiences in your family system, so to speak, like they had gone through wars, or there was a famine 3-4 generations ago, or there were murders or suicides, god forbid, something like that, something very traumatic, it is still going to have an effect on you. If that's the case, if doing no matter what amount of therapies you've done, something is not getting resolved, relationship issues, health issues, have to dig deeper into our family system to which we belong.
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely.
Makes sense. Yeah. All right. So it's like, we are chosen to do this kind of work. It's very important to understand there are so many people right now who are waking up to this fact that we have to do a lot of ancestral healing around our issues. Because if you don't do that, then we are actually passing this down to our next generation, unaccounted for. Like, I can't handle it. It's up to you. It's your task now. So we don't want our children to go through that, because we've been, I personally feel that we were burdened with a lot of things that were never solved. And we never knew that they even exist, because these dynamics are absolutely hidden. We are not aware of them. These are hidden dynamics. So only once we do this kind of work, those hidden dynamics come to the forefront, and then we can do something about them. So whether we want it or not, the issues we're struggling with, our personality traits, our expectations of life are strongly influenced by our parents. Since they too have been affected by their parents, unresolved traumas can be passed on from generation to the next. And this study, there's a lot of research happening right now, scientific research. It's called epigenetics. So the concept of systemic constellation or family constellation. So system means a group of people coming together. And like when we look at the sky, look at these constellations. So we know about these patterns that are formed in the sky. So the word constellation means a collection of objects which together form a pattern, just like the constellation we see in the sky. So just like those patterns that we see in the sky, similar patterns exist within families in the world. So it's a reflection. So it's easier to understand that way, that those patterns, we can't see them, but we know that they are very distinct. So each pattern is very distinct to the other. Likewise, the energy field of every family is very unique. So your family must have had their own history, which is extremely unique to, and it's not going to be like any other family in the world. So this is how individually and collectively unique we are. We come from very unique family systems with their own stories, good and bad both. We also carry the gifts of our ancestors. We don't have to forget that. They just haven't transferred their traumas onto us. They've also given us gifts. So we need to be connected to our roots in order to grow with a very empowering attitude. Okay, next. Another example, how to understand is that, one second, sorry. If anybody else also has a question, because I'll go on and on with this, and I don't want to sound too fast.
Hi.
Okay.
Shahista, hi, Vanita here.
Hi, Vanita.
Hi. Sorry, I have a question for you, please.
Sure.
I am going through something what you've explained just now. So I have some ancestor issues which has passed on to me through a disease called neurofibromatosis, which basically doesn't have a scientific cure at the moment.
Yes, or is it autoimmune? I think it's autoimmune, right?
Yes, it's basically a hereditary thing, which basically passes on from generation to generation.
Hmm.
But the past 2 generations, no one has had it. And I'm the first person to
Ah.
carry it after 2 generations. And now my daughter is also, it's been passed on to my daughter as well. So
Hmm.
what I want to understand is with these ancestral issues that I have gained this disease, is there a possibility to resolve this issue so it doesn't carry on to my daughter further?
So what exactly are the symptoms?
So it's basically a neurological disorder
Okay.
because of which you can have diseases like epilepsy, neurofibromatosis, which causes to have some sort of lumps all over your body. It causes tumor-like lesions. It can be cancerous, but mine is not cancerous. Touch wood. But this is what it kind of causes.
Okay. Okay. And your daughter, how old is she?
She's 5 years old, so she has been diagnosed as neurofibromatosis, but we don't know how much it's going to affect her because that cannot be said at the moment till she receives any symptoms. So right now it's only birthmarks that she has, but nothing
Okay.
else at this point in time.
Okay. So my next question to you is that you said it has not appeared in 2 generations. So sort of
Generations.
this thing had skipped 2 generations and it has appeared in your body.
It has appeared to me, yes, and also because my mother, when I was in, she conceived me, she has gone through a lot of trauma, mental trauma, and all of it. So it's basically because I had a consultation with someone who mentioned, like a homeopathic doctor, who has gone through this and has said, because whatever I am suffering right now is because of my ancestral issues that I've had. तो वो basically pass on हुआ है मेरे को because of my mother suffering. It's passed on to me and my sister and my brother. But the effect that I have is not what my brother and sister have. They have very limited effects. So that's why I want to just see, is because what I've suffered, I don't want my daughter to suffer.
What number are you in your siblings in terms of the order?
I'm the
You're
first one. Yeah.
First. And is it coming from your mother or father side?
It's basically from my mother's side majorly.
Okay. And do you know anything that may have happened in your family like 4-5 generations ago? Anything? Any major event?
Nothing. Quite a few issues. It's going to take a long time for me to get it. I don't want to take time from.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah,
we can do a little demo. We can do a little demo towards the end of it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'll explain how it's done. We can do it online, and it's a beautiful way to understand. Just so it will be like a diagnostic. To understand why this is happening or where this is coming from. And let's see what we can do. Maybe 10-15 minutes we can allocate out of.
Okay. Yeah, that will be nice.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine. And if you're comfortable, in addressing it in this way today.
Yeah. No, I don't mind doing that if it's going to benefit someone also. I don't mind doing it because I mean, if it's going to benefit someone.
So it won't be a full constellation, because full constellation actually requires 40-45 minutes. Shugufta has done that, so she understands it takes a lot of time, but I'll do a little diagnostic.
Yeah, so let's keep that for the end of the session, Shaista.
Sure.
And then we are doing a full workshop in few days.
We'll come to that later. So first, let's finish your presentation, then we can.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's I love it when people open up like that. Okay, so easy example to understand is that when we look at the solar system, so solar system, we see all these planets around in a perfect order. In families also, there's a perfect order, and it's called the order of love. These are universal laws, and we are not really aware of them. I mean, it's strange that we have lived on this planet for thousands and thousands of years, maybe million years, and we are not aware of these orders of love, which are universal in nature. And when those orders are violated, Number one order, I'll just explain it very quickly, is the order. So the number one order of love is the right to belong. That every person, every member of a family has an equal right to belong. We cannot exclude anyone. And that's one of the things that we in our families do on a casual basis. Okay, this person is like that, my cousin or my uncle is abusive, or he is alcoholic, for example, or he is narcissist, I'm not going to see him. So conflicts between brothers and sisters, we have seen, like for years and years, they will not see each other. That's a classical case of exclusion. Then exclusion also happens when we abort our child or when there are miscarriages. And as soon as the miscarriage has happened, the mother and the father, they rush on to have another child. That child sometimes becomes a replacement child. And we do not get enough time to mourn the miscarriage. And abortion is also sometimes done. I'm not trying to judge anyone here, but it's just that we need to understand the repercussions of these actions. It's a case of exclusion, that you do not have the right to belong. I don't want you, hence I'm letting you go. And these can create a lot of hidden issues with the mother, with the father. Maybe they'll carry a guilt. And if they have another child, that child is also going to bear the burden of the child who was aborted. So these are some of the examples when we violate the right of a member to belong. Okay, so we cannot do that. Number two, the order of, within the order of love, the number two is hierarchy. Whoever comes first has precedence over the one who comes later. And we are also violating that very easily, very casually on a regular basis. The younger one, if they are supporting, or for example, if a younger child is looking after the parents, and there are other siblings as well. So the younger sibling, if they are supporting their parents, they try or start becoming bigger. Their attitude towards the parents, as well as the older siblings, also begins to change, and they feel that they're the big ones now. That's a violation of, not respecting hierarchy. So the first child is the first child, and the last child remains the last child and remains small. It's all about internal attitude, what we have around the relationships. And that's how we attract different situations. And if the child is just supporting their parents from the space of being humble, then it has a different feel altogether. Respecting their order in the family is very, very important. For example, I'll give you another example. What it really means is that if a husband had a previous partner, there was a previous wife, and now he moves on and marries somebody else. And he tries to push the first partner out of his mind, judge them, belittle them, accuse them, blame them. What will happen is that, and the second wife, for example, or the second partner, if she tries to also do that, not respect the first partner of the husband, what will happen is that she's trying to come on the first place. And in doing so, she's also going to have some similar fate as the first partner. So the resolution here is very important to understand that the first remains the first, giving them a place in your heart. It's as simple as that. You don't have to go, and even if there were issues, or they were, not good enough, whatever. But since that partner left and it allowed space for the second partner to come, there has to be a sense of gratitude. So in constellation work, we give them that place, that you came first and I'm the second partner. And I'm very grateful to you that because of you, I am in the life of my husband. So giving them a place in your heart, it's like you release so much when we actually give people their, exact place, instead of trying to blame or shut them out or exclude them. So hierarchy is very, very important. First was right to belong. Second is hierarchy, respecting hierarchy. And the third is the balance of giving and receiving, which means I'll give an example that when one partner is giving too much to the other partner, looking after their needs, doing everything to please the other partner, but we have to also make a note of it that the second, if you're giving too much to your partner and you're not allowing him to do anything in return, it will create a disbalance in the relationship. And I think most women do that. They are looking after the husband, they are pampering them, they're cooking for them. And eventually what will happen is that because we are giving too much energetically to the husband might feel burdened by that. It's energetic. And there may be some distance that is going to be created between them because one is giving too much and the other one is feeling energetically burdened by that. So the ideal place, in order for that we don't violate this order, that we don't violate this rule, is that there has to be a balance of giving and receiving. When we do so much, we also need to stop and allow the other person to do something for us.
So what if the other person is not doing anything? I mean, is the only one, because we see this.
So we need to understand what is it in me that has created all this situation. Where am I operating from? If I'm trying to please my partner, where is the void? What am I carrying inside of me? And have I also seen my mother doing the same to my father? So it goes back to our childhood bonding or attachment issues. What kind of an attachment I had with my father or with my mother?
So this is also kind of a social conditioning, Shaista, in us.
It is.
It's basically a social conditioning. When I look back at my life, in my earlier, so, in my first marriage, it was like I was only giving and only giving and only giving. And when I look back, I realized, oh my God, this was like a social conditioning, wherein I was taught to, as a wife, you got to do this without, and it was a very cultural and social conditioning that it was.
It is. But it's very important to understand, if you're giving too much to the other person, since they are energetically feeling burdened, they're also going to leave. That sometimes create disbalance. So if you're giving, the other person is receiving, you're giving. Okay. And that drains you, that tires you. You'll also eventually become bitter.
Yes, that's what happens eventually.
Eventually. So we need to create sense of boundaries around us.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have that sense of boundaries, how much we should give. Yeah. And then take a pause. Wait for the other person to respond.
Yeah, but
that comes with awareness and practice.
Yeah, Shaista, this is really an amazing point. Hi, I'm Sonal. And
hi, Sonal.
Hi, thank you so much for this insight. When we're talking about the family constellation, I have personally seen this from generation to generation. Been a burden that why is a woman supposed to take care of the family? And you really nailed it here. I cannot count myself as a superwoman because I do it all. I am actually overburdening myself.
Yeah, it's a burden, by the way. I used to do that, but I've stopped doing that.
Yeah, so
it's like we are fed, that this is how a woman should be.
But at the same time, if a woman is doing everything, obviously a man is, he's just left out and he would not feel responsible for the family. And then if you accuse him, he's not been trained in that way, right?
He's not trained in that way. And we have to, so the man also needs to dig into their childhood. What has happened there? How was his childhood?
Yeah, but then again, especially for this kind of a relationship where you're talking about a husband and wives, Shaista, the realization or the willingness to work has to come from both sides. It'll never work if only the one of the partner is wanting to get things right. And that is what exactly happened in my case as well, right? Where I had a lot of realizations, but it was only me who was willing to do things for the relationship, and I saw nothing coming from the other side.
So what happens is that if the other partner is not willing to, for example, I'll give my own personal experience. So I have been doing a lot of this inner work since years now, 4, 5, 6 years now. And 3 years primarily into ancestral work. My husband hardly had gone for sessions. And there was a time when things were not going okay with us. And you've met him, right? You saw him.
Yeah.
But things started changing when I started changing my inner reality.
Yeah.
I can't pull people, we can't pull our husbands and our, people who we have issues with into sessions if they're not ready for it. We don't work that way, right? I mean, most of you are into this kind of work. You understand this.
Yeah, Shagufta, actually what Salsa is saying, I can resonate with her. The same thing happened with me. The moment I started working on myself, I saw the changes around.
Yes.
Because I think
Yes.
Shagufta has,
Yeah, for me-
so, but yes, the other person has to be ready. I mean, thoda consciousness hona chahiye, little conscious about it.
yeah.
So
But
if the
if
other
you
person
wake
is
up,
completely unconscious, it won't happen. But
it won't happen.
you have to wake up and then right first start working on yourself, and then slowly you see the changes around. And then when
Yes,
you
you have to give it time.
yeah, patience and faith, I believe. And
Hmm.
when what I understood about this is that you cannot force. So you just have to see the change coming around, like, and slowly and silently you see that. So I think
True.
there is a point in this. So
Yes,
True.
I totally believe and agree with the both of you. In my case, of course, it's a little different because
no.
I started my self work after the divorce. So by then I'd already separated.
I know.
For me,
You help me,
for
okay?
me,
You help me.
17 years of trauma, I couldn't take it anymore, and I didn't know about these things back then. It was
Of
only
course.
divorce after 2 years after the divorce that I started
Yeah.
working on myself. So by then I had already ended that relationship. So I cannot
Also, but then we have to forgive ourselves for what we
Of
didn't know then.
course.
Yeah.
totally
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's fine. So what we know now, we know better.
We didn't know at that time.
Yeah.
maybe things
So
And we're not superhumans, That's how we learn.
but,
And we're not even angels.
the other point that which you said now, that if the other person is not doing, so once you stop now, you see that, then they
So
start
pausing is important.
the pause. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry I interrupted, but I wanted to get it out.
Yes, thank you so
And
much.
another point, there's another point. So if your partner has hurt you and we're forgiving them, it's not helping either.
Yeah.
The ideal thing, always remember, when you are hurt by your partner, give him a little hurt back. Not as much as they have. This is something I learned in constellation work, by the way. I never knew about this. I kept forgiving my husband, forgiving. And what happens is that you become bigger in your mind, that you're forgiving. You are someone bigger.
It's relatable actually.
Huh?
It's relatable actually, whatever you're saying, it's like,
So give them little hurt back. It will restore something in the relationship. You will not lose something. Once you hit the other person, you hurt them little bit. Not as much as they have, but thoda sa.
I agree to that also, because there has been situations where I've been always giving, and the minute I stopped, they start realizing things like, oh, इसने ये तो पहले करती थी, and now she's not doing, सब ठीक तो है, and then they have that consciousness, and then they start checking on you and wanting to do things for you.
Exactly. And somehow the spices within the relationship, they remain there. You're not becoming the bigger one in the dynamics.
मीटिंग में
that's a pause actually.
एक जूम है.
You can literally answer me. Pause.
अगर म्यूट है ग बस.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll continue. Yeah. Okay. So has anyone seen The Crown on Netflix? It's one of my favorite movie, which I've just recently watched on Netflix. And I watched it through the lens of family constellation. Because here in our own families, we have no record of what happened before us, and we can't systematically gauge what happened and how is it affecting us. But when we see the royal family, for example, they're all their stories and all their situation is right in front of us because it's all recorded. It's all kept in a record. So I'll give you an example. Like the uncle of Queen Elizabeth, he was, if you all know, he was abdicated, right? After a few months of being a king, before Queen Elizabeth was coronated, remember?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about patterns. in family. So if anybody watches, if you go back and watch Crown on Netflix, you will understand how patterns are repeated in family generations after generations. So that's my point. So
I
the
agree.
king, yeah. So king, I think his name was Edward, something like that. So he was abdicated after 11 months of remaining a king. He wanted to marry a American actress who was a divorcee. He was excluded from the system, and everyone else in the royal family, they used to criticize and blame him, that because of him our life is like that, because of him our life is like. So they used to criticize and blame him and shame him all the time. He tried coming back and he requested Queen Elizabeth much later in life that at least give me some work so that I do my duty as a member of the royal family. He was not given that. Now 4 generations later, we see something similar happening to Prince Harry. He has also married an American actress, again a divorcee, and he has left everything and again been excluded. So these patterns, so if you look into your own family as well, you'll be able to match. Okay, there is a repetition of something happening there. It's actually also called entanglement in constellation work. Okay, so we are always immersed in an energy field of our family. We can't see that energy field. It's also called morphogenic field. Okay, this field is always around us. So if you look at the magnetic field, for example, there is a field there as well, right? Yeah. So South Pole and North Pole. And when we put those, iron pins or something like that, we can see an exact pattern forming, and we can gauge how the field looks like. But it's invisible, right? In our family also, we have some similar energetic field, and everything that happens in our life or in the life of our ancestors, it's sort of recorded there. The memories of what happened to them, whether it was expressed or unexpressed, has remained there. So in short, a family has a conscience and a soul of its own, and it's very, very intelligent. I'll do one demo here, and you'll understand how someone who doesn't know you at all will start to share information, something related to your problem. So family constellation is a compassion-based healing method. We do not judge and criticize. We do not blame and shame anyone in the family system, even if they had done some kind of violence or whatever. There's a reason why such people, behave that way. Why do they become perpetrators, for example? If there's a history of war, for example, that family is going to have a perpetrator energy. So healing that is very, very important. So in constellation, we look with love and not with judgment for what really happened. And through this unique method, one seeks to discover hidden dynamics in the family field that has led to our suffering. So in short, I'll just explain who forms a system. So a system is a combination of our parents, our siblings, our grandparents, their siblings. So if our grandparents' sibling has also gone through sufferings, or they had a heavy destiny, for example, if our grandparents' brother or sister were disabled, for example, that also is going to affect generations who come later. They will probably sabotage their success. They might have health issues as well, because at a soul level, our consciousness remembers that uncle who was disabled, for example. So the difficult destinies of our ancestors, they also play very heavy on our soul. And that is because of our love and loyalty to them. And that love and loyalty is extremely blind. We are not aware of them. You may on the conscious level be accusing them, but subconsciously, maybe subconsciously, you are still hooked to their sufferings. So no matter how much we, try to intellectualize what is happening in our life right now, subconsciously we are loyal to their suffering. For example, if a father, I keep saying my father, but if a father could not be successful as much as they wanted to, or they had failures after failures, and the child is extremely educated, has all the potential and skills, they will also not be able to find success in their career. So going back and healing what they have formed beliefs around success, or what may have happened 2-3 generations ago, because of which all the men are not able to form, stable careers, and consistent money is not coming in. There has to be a reason why this is happening. And it is extremely, extremely important to know that it is transgenerational. We do not form our own beliefs as children. We always acquire it from people who are around us. And our parents also had their own childhood. And all their beliefs and experiences are also coming from their childhood, which again, if they have not worked on, will be carried on to us. So despite all the advancements and despite everything, why is this not happening? What are the beliefs that are creating blocks in my life for good relationship, good health, good connections, So all these things are very, very important to understand. So family of origin and current family is very important to understand. So family of origin, our parents, our siblings, going back, grandparents, their siblings, if there was a heavy destiny there, or if somebody had committed suicide, a grandparents, brother or sister had committed suicide, that will have an effect for later generations. This is something heavy, something burdened. Then our great-grandparents and their siblings, again, if there was something traumatic that happened to his siblings. If nothing traumatic happened, then there is absolutely nothing to worry about.
Shaista, I have one more
Sure.
thing. So when you just spoke of suicide and murders, I just recollected that my mother's cousin had committed suicide. My mother's first cousin.
Okay.
Does that affect the rest of the family in any way?
At what age? Any idea?
He was in his 20s.
Yeah.
He was in his late 20s. He was in his 20s, yeah. I think around 26, 27. He was very good looking. I remember he was very good looking.
How old were you?
I was, I think I was like late teens.
It may not have affected you directly, but what will happen is that if you do a constellation and if there's any problem in your life which doesn't seem to get better, and something that makes you feel very uncomfortable, uneasy, and if that energy comes up, then we have to deal with it. So I can't say right now whether it has really affected you, but it must have affected someone in the family later on for sure.
So, in a way, and I hope this question also helps the others. So in a way, there could be so many things happening in your, and this is something I just now, remember last time when I had the workshop with you, this thing was not even there in my mind. It just had, so out of, in a family, there would be so many things that would have happened, some things that you're not even aware of. So how do you know what you're dealing with when you're in a workshop? Or how do you know what is it that you need to work?
Like I said, if there's anything that we are not able to deal with consciously, you can intellectualize it. You can try and create, analyze the whole situation. Why is my child behaving this way? I've taken him to therapies, for example, and his anger or his hyperactivity, for example, is not getting resolved. What could be the reason? All the teachers are complaining. There could be many, many questions, that we actually go through. My issues still keep coming up. It's been 3 years now. So I'm not going to say that I am perfect. And I mean, just today also, I was doing some practice session with a friend of mine. And I was like, because I have this back pain, which is recurring. So I was like, okay, I want to understand the reason for my back pain and how can I find relief? So in the session, because we were practicing constellation, and in the session, the element which turned out to be the back pain was 4 years old of my age. So at 4 years of age, she asked me what happened. I said, I actually went to the school for the first day and I was crying hysterically for my mother. Where is my mother? And she asked me, what do you feel? So there's a whole process we do in constellation. She was asking me, how are you feeling as a 4-year-old? I said, I'm feeling abandoned. I'm so useless that my mother has left me in a school And I'm so angry, and I felt all of a sudden in that workspace that I'm becoming like a Hulk, and I want to scream and break things. This is about this morning, I'm telling you. Okay, and the reason, so there were other things that also came up, but it's important to understand what are you carrying deep inside of you. You could have inner children, but inner children are also caused because of some trauma. What happened to your mother and father? Why were they not emotionally available? Because of which you as a child felt unsafe or threatened or fearful. Where was a safe adult? So if your mother and father had gone through some trauma, some disconnection from their parents, that disconnection is also going to be passed down. Sometimes you feel, why we are not able to connect with our child? Or what is happening? There's some distance between me and my child. No matter what I want to do, there's some uneasiness when I look at my child. There could be many things. And we have to dig in deeper to understand, is he carrying something from me from the time of his birthing? So there could be a birth trauma as well. And in constellation, we can go as far as the womb trauma that we, go through. It's amazing that whatever the client comes up, sometimes they also have a twin in the womb, and they, for their whole life, they never realized there was a twin at the beginning of the conception. Even mothers are not aware that there was a twin. But in constellation, I've done pretty much many sessions, like 4 or 5 different clients have come, and they were like, okay, so I'll give you an example. There was this client who said that, I can't trust people easily. I can't trust people with money. I can't trust people in relationships. I just have trust issues. And when I did a session with her, she picked up one element, one figure, because I do online with figures, I have these puppets, I'll show you. So I did that, and she all of a sudden picked up something similar to her. So I have these puppets. So she picked up something similar to her own self. And the moment she did that, she started crying. So it was a lengthy process, but I could figure it out that there was a twin with her in the womb, and she has never realized it. So it's like, what happened to my twin? The twin may have disappeared. And it happens with 40% of the pregnancies. 1 out of every third or fourth pregnancy is a twin. And we don't realize it because it's at a very, very early stage. And sometimes a little spotting will happen and the twin disappears. It's also called, you guys can, Google about it. It's called diminished twin syndrome or vanishing twin. You can Google about it, and you'll understand that there's so many people out there in the world. Sometimes they say, I'm looking for my twin flame. We have heard of these concepts. Or I'm looking for someone. So all their life, they're looking for something or the other, and they won't realize that in the womb, they actually had a twin. There was one client, I remember, she had a triplet. She's the only one who survived, and there were 2 other twins who never survived. And she was like, I don't want to come out of my home. I'm hiding from people. And when I did the process, this is the reason why it came, because home looks like a womb, it's a womb space. So she was like, I don't want to come out at all. And when I did the process, she had lost 2 twins. She was one of the triplets. And when she realized that, things started changing for her. It's like, once you acknowledge and understand that you never came into the world alone, things begin to move in for you.
Energetically, right? So all this is
energetically. Yes. Energetically. It's like a guilt you carry. Survivor's guilt, we also often call it in constellation work. That you feel guilty deep down of having survived. Oh my God, they didn't make it. How could I? I wish I had gone with them. Or I could have saved them. And some of the time, what has also happened is that people who are trying to save people, people like us, we need to check whether we also had a twin. Because we are doing, who are we trying to save all the time? If that need is too much for us, we need to understand maybe there was a twin. And we have never realized it all our life. And it comes out in a constellation work.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And okay, going back to who forms a system. So current family, wife, living children, aborted, miscarried. We often forget children who, we couldn't have because of a miscarriage. So it's very important to include those children back, those souls back in a constellation therapy work, to bring those energies back, because they could be lingering on in our current family system, creating distance between the spouses, and the children who come later after those miscarriages also carry heavy destiny. They feel guilty of being alive as well. And it's again unconscious. We are not aware of these dynamics at all. Yes, Eba?
I just got this in my mind. How would they create distance between the spouses? This I want to understand. You mentioned
Because it's an unacknowledged, and that those energies feel unimportant, that I was so unimportant, I'm not even remembered.
Okay. But then the miscarriage just happened, okay?
Yes,
Nothing
it
to do with it.
happens.
Abortion was different. Miscarriage just happened. So how?
Yeah,
would
but we don't remember them, right?
Okay. Okay. So they are the reason that they create this.
No, there are many other reasons, but this could also be a reason.
Could also.
Yeah, could be. I'm not saying definitely this is the reason. No, if there's distance between a husband and a wife, they have to look into. So the wife needs to look into her system. Where is she attracting this from? How is her attachment to her mother and father?
So because she has distanced herself from the fittest, she is being distanced from the spouse. That is what you mean to say.
So it's a very hypothetical. Give me a real. So I can't answer that hypothetically, because there could be many reasons. I'm not saying that this is the reason, but what I'm saying is that these are some of the things that have come out.
Okay, no, continue.
Yeah. Children from previous marriages. So if a mother brings in her children from previous marriage, the next partner needs to acknowledge those children and not try to keep distance from them, and not try and drag his wife towards him all the time. So for the woman, for the mother, her children, because they came first, remember I said about hierarchy? So if the children, because the children came first and the second marriage happened later, that man came later into the life, right? So those children have priority for the mother. And then the system will work smoothly. Otherwise, if the mother is looking after the husband and disregarding the children from the previous marriage, it's not going to create harmony between the, husband and wife. So acknowledging them, because they came early, they came before in the hierarchy, is very, very important. Stillbirth again, because when these things, so if a miscarriage happens, or if there's a stillbirth, or when a mother had a child who died young, it's a trauma for the mother. And because of that, the mother cannot connect with her subsequent children. So she needs to work on that trauma and guilt of not having to, that she was not able to protect her child. Yeah. So it's a very, very lengthy topic, by the way. But is there anybody who wants to do a demo? Shugufta, what time is it?
It's 9. It's 9 o'clock. We've finished 1 hour, but for the others,
okay,
can leave. For the others who want to stay on, please stay on, because this is going to go on for a little longer, I guess.
But I'm done with the theory, because there's so much theory. I'd rather do a demo.
All right. So who's ready for a demo here?
I can do. If anyone else wants to do, please go ahead.
Vanita, I think you were wanting to do it. Let's do it with Vanita.
Okay, Vanita, can I see you? Can I see your video?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not quite presentable right now, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Even I've come like that. So it doesn't matter.
Yes. So
Hi.
this is me, Vanita.
Okay. And Vanita, what are you feeling right now? I know about your situation. You said yeah.
Well,
that's fine.
I'm actually really overwhelmed right now, because whatever you have mentioned, like A to Z, I can resonate with it. So everything, like you've mentioned about trauma, experience with a spouse, experience with a family, not being recognized for your efforts, everything. So this is how I feel, because I've had one session for my daughter for the homeopathic session. This is where first time I heard about how an ancestral
you
experience
mentioned.
can affect everything. So then I found out a lot of things that my mother had gone through, which I wasn't aware of.
Have you worked on that? Whatever your mother went
No,
through.
frankly speaking, no, I wasn't kind of, I couldn't kind of believe it at that point in time. I just felt she's just saying things and I couldn't kind of connect with it. But since then, it's been in my head and I've come across a few articles which I read and I kind of started believing in it. And when I compare dots to each other, this is how I feel also, because my father has been never recognized for his efforts. He's always been betrayed and things like that. So he's gone through a lot, whether it's on a family side or on a friend side.
Okay.
That's the same thing my mother has gone through. So it's a similar experience which we as siblings are facing as well. Like, I can see what my mom went through with her in-laws is something I go through with my
Mostly
in-laws.
repeated. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a repeated pattern that I can see. So at the same time, like, I've spoken to Shagufta about this very briefly when I met her for the first time. No matter what I do in my professional life, I'm never recognized for my efforts. So there are people that who have taken my ideas and have gone through further without even recognizing me, saying, okay, this was Vanita's idea and stuff like that. Or when I put in an idea through, it doesn't come in, it's not accepted. But the similar idea, exactly the same words used, is being put in by someone else. It's been taken up like this, and that person is promoted, and so that's an experience I've had. So ever since I've been working, I've always been in that situation where 99% of my hard work is not recognized.
So, Vanita, is that what you want to address in our brief demo right now? What do you want to address?
This is something on my personal, my experience, but that's something I can work out later with you. What I would like to work with is on my daughter, because she's at most important for me right now. Like, she feels like this at times where she comes back. So she's a very jovial kid. She's 5 years, very nicely. I mean, she's very well behaved. She is very friendly. She can connect with anyone very nicely. But she tends to, for some reason, the kids or their families don't try to connect with her. Like, if I call anyone for play dates, or we try to connect with anyone, the chain kind of breaks after a few days.
And did you also feel that as a child?
Yes.
So, Vanita, what I tell parents is that when they come with issues, related to the children, I always tell parents to heal themselves, work on their issues.
Okay.
Our children actually benefit tremendously from that. Once because they have actually taken a lot of unresolved stuff from us as parents. I have 2 children as well, so I can actually vouch on that fact. That once you deal with your stuff, it kinds of energetically unburdens them. It releases them of something they're carrying from us. They also carry our inner children, by the way.
Okay.
There was a time when I thought maybe our inner children are our inner children. It's not like that.
Yeah.
They're also carrying inner children of our parents. So it's that deep. It's that deep we have to go. So deal with your own stuff, Vanita. Prioritize yourself.
Yeah, this is something that I'm trying to work on right now, because this is something that a lot of people have told me, that you need to prioritize yourself. Yes. My daughter was born to us after about 10 years of trying to conceive a child. And this was something I fell under, something that's called as unexplained infertility, because there was no reason I couldn't conceive. And anything, we went through IVF, we went through XC, we went through a lot of processes, and it just wouldn't happen. And
so
then
like you said that something happened to you when your mother was carrying you. Yes. Then that is something that could also be affecting your fertility when you wanted to conceive.
Okay.
I'll give you an example, and I don't want to scare people off, but when mothers try to abort children, for example, and the abortion doesn't happen, and that child survives. I'm giving you a very, real example because I deal with these issues. And that child survives the abortion. That child for the rest of their life will feel guilty, will feel disconnected from the mother. And in some point of time, they may also covertly try harming themselves, trying to
Wow.
finish what the mother couldn't.
Wow.
And I'm not trying to scare people off, but it's like a revelation for me when I started realizing that these things, we think that the child doesn't remember what we tried to do, but they do remember.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And they may have issues later on in conceiving as well.
Okay. So this is
Okay.
something I would say because when my mother was conceiving me, there was this bolte na wo Chand Grahan and Suraj Grahan and all of it. That is there
Just one second. I need to put on the back. Yeah, go on.
So there was the Suraj Grahan at that point in time, and वो कहते हैं ना कि pregnancy के time पे Suraj Grahan के time पे pregnant women don't step out.
Uh-huh.
And my mother was really forced to step out at that point in time, because of which I understand that I have a big birthmark. So this is something that happened during my pregnancy as well. There was a Surya Grahan at that point in time, and my mom made sure that I don't step out no matter what happens. And I made sure that I don't step out as well during that time, because she's experienced this and she knows that it is because of that. So we made sure that I don't step out during that time.
Right. So Vanita, tell me, what do you want to work on? The question is the same.
I want to work on basically on my daughter not going through the same process that I have gone through, not feeling neglected, and all of that.
Okay, so I'll just do a brief demo, but
Yeah.
Shugufta will tell you that we are having a full-on workshop on 7th.
I'd
Is
love
that
to
the
be a
date
part
again?
of it. Yeah.
Yes, so we can decide. Yeah, let's go ahead with the 7th, or we'll decide the date later. I'll put it on the
Sure.
group. But anyways,
Yeah, but it's going to happen, and then we can do a full-on constellation work. And in
Perfect.
that workshop, the best part is, so for example, if I'm working on your case, and Shugufta and Bhavna and Rakesh, they are witnessing, they also get healing.
Sorry,
out of
that's
it.
my daughter. She just wants to say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Say hi.
yeah, I like
Sorry.
your hairband, yeah. So pretty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll start, and maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, not more
Sure.
than that. Yeah. Okay. So that everybody gets a feel of it. I hope all these other people are there because I don't see them at all. Eva is there. Okay. So is there anyone who would like to represent Vanita's daughter?
I'll do it.
Shugufta? Okay. Okay. You know how it works, huh?
I know how it works, so I'll do it. I'll represent.
And I want one, maybe Zeba, to represent Vanita. And Vanita, you only remain an observer.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. And if there's anything I want to ask or I want to tell you, because we're not doing the full process, it's
Sure.
like a diagnostic. Okay?
Sure,
So Zeba,
sure.
you are the mother, Vanita. You can turn on your mic now.
Okay, sorry. So I'm the mother. I'm Vanita. Yeah.
You are Vanita, and Shugufta, you're the daughter.
Right.
Just take few seconds to feel into it. And all of a sudden, as you're feeling into it, so Zeba as Vanita and Shugufta as the daughter of Vanita. Take a few seconds, take a deep breath. And I'm going to ask one by one to both of you how you're feeling. So Zeba, tell me what's the feeling that you're getting? First feeling, first thought, and if there's any sensation in the body, please let me know.
I have क्या बोलते हैं वो pins feel होती है all over the body.
All over the body?
All over the body, I can feel the
yeah.
Tingling.
Okay, and how is that making you feel, Zeba? Sorry, Vanita.
Very uneasy. It's
Hmm.
making me very uneasy.
And your eyes are closed.
My eyes are closed, yeah, and I feel as if I'm drowning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and tingling is on my in my feet also now.
Okay, stay with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you aware of the other person?
The other person? Which other
Yeah.
person? No,
You're not aware?
no.
Okay. And how are you feeling? So you have tingling in your body.
I have tingling in the body, in the feet,
Yeah.
and I feel as if I want someone to hold me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how is that making you feel?
Uh,
What
I,
is the
uh,
feeling?
I don't feel grounded, as if I'm not able to balance myself.
Okay. You're
I'm not
feeling
able to.
unbalanced.
Yeah.
And Vanita, do you often feel that way?
Yes, like I said, I suffer from neurofibromatosis.
Huh.
I do have a 24/7 tingling sensation on my right foot.
Okay. So stay with that, mother. Stay with that. I'm going to the daughter. So tell me what's happening. First feeling, first thought, and stay with the sensations that also appear.
So I'm feeling very restless.
Uh-huh.
My hands are not staying still. So my hands are like constantly like this is happening to my fingers. I'm just feeling very restless.
Feeling very restless. And are you aware of the other element?
No.
You're not aware. So you're feeling restless.
Yeah.
And your fingers are like that.
Yeah, it's not stopping.
What's the feeling behind it?
Can't say.
And your eyes are also closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anyone out in this group who wants to represent what they both are? So what's missing, basically? So is there anyone else who would like to come forward? Bhavna, Rakesh, Kiran, Nisha, Aman, Rashmi. Anyone who would like to? Sonal, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Sonal,
Hi.
yes. Thank you. So would you like to feel in to what's missing? Intuitively, whatever you're feeling, thoughts, any sensation in the body, just allow them to come in. Trust the process.
Lot of
What's the
unacceptance.
lot of
Unacceptance.
unacceptance.
Yes. Like
Okay.
why am I going through this? I need to know the answer. I need to understand why me.
Why me? Hmm.
La-
And are you
Excuse-
aware of the other two elements?
Yes.
And where are you drawn to, or who are you concerned about, or who are you connected to?
Mother.
Mother. Uh-huh.
So
So what do you?
feel
Yeah.
her helplessness if she's able to deal with her situation.
Yeah.
Probably the daughter wouldn't have gone through everything, whatever things she has.
So can you tell the mother element, what is that word that you want to tell the mother element?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. And mother, what are you feeling when this element says that you have to accept the situation? Acceptance has to come.
I feel
What happens to you?
the tingling becomes less.
The tingling becomes less.
Yeah, and as if I can hold myself.
You can hold yourself.
Yeah.
So
Previously,
can you
I
look?
felt like, previously I felt like I was drowning.
And now?
And now I feel a bit balanced.
You
Like
feel
I
a
can
bit
hold
balanced.
myself grounded, a bit grounded.
And are you aware of the daughter element?
No, not much. Like slightly.
Slightly. And what's the feeling?
Right now,
Hmm.
towards the daughter, you mean?
Yeah.
Towards the daughter, like
So
accepting feeling.
accepting feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what about you, daughter?
So
When that
yeah,
missing element came?
yeah. So as soon as the mother said that the tingling in her stopped, my hands became stable. The
Ah, like that.
yeah,
Hmm.
a lot relaxed, a lot relaxed.
Hmm. 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 A
My
lot relaxed.
stopped, automatically. Yeah.
Hmm. And when the missing element, the third element, it said about acceptance. What is it doing to you? How do you feel about it?
So it just kind of there's a feeling of relief.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So, Vanita, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
because all these elements, they keep closing their eyes. So it points towards something which is someone who died, or maybe more than one people who died. Did you had a brother or sister who passed away when they were
No,
small?
not my brother or sister, but I had my father's brother who had passed away in an accident. It was a
At
road
what age?
accident that he passed away.
What was his age?
He was, I think, 18.
And have you seen him? No.
No, because it was much before my father got married and everything.
Right, right, right.
And I had a Chacha ji who was blind also.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. And what about your mother's system?
My mother's,
Any significant trauma there?
for my mother,
Yeah, not of your mother, but coming from your
no,
mother's lineage.
not that I'm aware of. I can check with her, but not that I'm aware of.
Check. Maybe 2-3 generations ago, was there any, like maybe mass murders or massacre or something like that? If there was, partition happened between India and
Yes.
Pakistan, and then, okay, find that out if something of that sort happened.
Okay.
Okay, anything
Okay.
significant that stands out? Maybe it feels like a story that people have heard, but those stories can have an impact. So tell me, the missing element, how are you feeling once the mother and the daughter element felt better the moment you came? What's happening to you?
Yeah, I was at ease. Okay.
Hmm.
Probably this was a message that I wanted to tell them.
Okay,
But
so
the moment
can you try? Yeah, but the moment?
you said, you told Vinita about her mother's
Lineage?
relative, yeah, I had a sensation, an irritation or some pain, which I really
Hmm.
wanted to share. So
Where was that? Where was the pain?
on my right hand, right
Hmm.
arm.
Hmm. Hmm. So try saying to the mother element, it was my destiny.
Wow.
Just a simple truth. It was my destiny. Leave it
It
to
was
me.
my it was my destiny. Leave it to me.
You don't have to carry it
You don't have to carry it
for me.
for me.
I'm the big one
The big one, and
and I can handle it.
I can handle it.
What happens to you when you say that?
To me,
How do you feel when you say that?
I don't want to say this.
You don't want to say this.
I'm just repeating it for you. I don't want to say it. I don't have that courage to tell her this, that it was my destiny. I want her to accept this fact, but I cannot say it.
Can you say it was a heavy destiny
Yeah, it was a heavy destiny.
and I can't believe it happened to me?
And I can't believe it happened to me.
What happens to you when you say that?
I can't say it. My
You
heart
can't say that.
is heavy. Yeah.
What happens to the mother when you hear this?
I feel heaviness on my shoulder, on my right shoulder.
Hmm.
It feels heavy suddenly.
And what about you, daughter?
Disconnected. I'm getting a feeling of being very disconnected with everything.
Yes, yes. So, Vanita, can you make it out?
Yeah, I can, because now that she mentioned the right shoulder, I've had a surgery on my right shoulder. So
Yeah.
I
So
had a lot of
there is something coming from behind, which is also affecting your, not just your emotions, but physical health as well. So I think the demo is over. Shugufta, thank you so much. You're back to being Shugufta. Zeba, you're back to being Zeba. Thank you so much for representing as a demo. Sonal, thank you so much for coming forward.
Thank you, Shasta.
all of you.
Thank you.
Thank
This
you so
was
much
a
for
brief,
the
wait,
Pleasure is ours. Yeah.
how was the experience? See, we are all in different
Amazing.
places,
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
but that's how we are connected.
I mean,
Yeah.
see, this is really amazing, because I know none of you except for Shagufta. I don't know anyone, but whatever you guys have said is somewhere within me. It is there, like her tingling sensation she said on her foot. I have that on my right foot. I've had that since the age of 10. The right shoulder, yes, I've just had a surgery in September. So, and I'm still not recovered from it, no matter what I do. I'm still not recovered 100% out of it.
Yes.
So I can feel all that connection, and I mean, I don't know what to say, how I'm feeling with this.
That's how it is, and it was very brief, so I can't take it fully. But this is one way I do it in an online platform. So Shugufta, on to you. How was your
Thank you.
experience?
Are you asking me my experience?
Yeah, so Zeba, Sonal, your experience as well.
You're from Zeba.
How did it feel to you?
Yeah.
I'm actually speechless, you know. It was amazing. Thank you for having
So,
us.
so why I do a demo is because you can get a feel of it. Because no matter how many words
Yeah.
I try to explain this work with, and sometimes I'll babble as well because it's too much for me.
Yeah.
So this is the how you are able to connect with it is through the energetic field, the family field. So Vanita's family field got activated the moment we addressed a question. And when you are representing something missing, Sonal, and Zeba is representing mother, Shugufta as a daughter, there will be a resonance for you as a representative as well.
Right. And
So there is some.
yeah.
Yes, Sonal?
Shasta, what I felt here is there have been times when I try to connect with people. I try to be kind, loving, giving. Maybe that is the way how I want people to treat me. Or it could be a family constellation, as we are discussing. In this activity, I experienced that if I really find it difficult to connect with an individual, could be a client, could be somebody randomly whom I am meeting, an acquaintance, it is good that I can be in my own zone, think of that person's vibrations and feeling, and connect with that person. And as you said, the rule of love applies here rather than being judgmental towards a person.
Exactly.
Because
that's actually called compassion as well.
Compassion, yeah.
And it's something that all of the humanity is really, they do know it, it's innate within us, but somewhere down the line we have forgotten to connect with people. We look at people as race and religion and different colors and different creed, but we don't connect as humans. For us, it's very important to bring in that compassion, innate feeling that we have lost, and connect with one another and feel connected as humans. That's something we really need to understand on a very, very larger basis. And compassion begins at home. If you're not able to connect with the people who are actually suffering within our families, and we exclude them and we ke chalo nahi milna to nahi milna kind of a thing, it's not going to help anyone, because we are creating patterns when we do that. And I've seen that when we have compassion and understanding towards their issues, even a person who is going through addictions, or people who are sexual predators, for example, there is a reason why they become like that. Nobody is born that way. So we need to dig into their ancestry and find out, if they come for sessions, of course, what happened? How was their childhood? What are they carrying from their mother and father? Invisibly, hidden. It's a hidden dynamic. Nobody's aware of these things. That's one of the reasons why I really, truly am devoted to this work. I'm really in love with this work because it really elevates you and it frees you, it liberates you from so many things. Sometimes you blame yourself. Arey, main aisa na hoti to aisa hoti to acha tha. You know, I'm not good for anything. I'm not good enough. I'm rejected, and I also reject myself. This work brings your aspects of yourself together in a much more meaningful way.
Thank you,
It gives
Shai.
meaning to your life. I
Thank
hope this
you.
was helpful. And I think
Yeah.
Shagufta will share the details of the workshop we are having in few days.
Yeah, so thank you for joining in, first of all, everybody, for giving your time. And like I said, I've done this workshop with Shaista before. I've seen, you know, that of course once is not enough, because there's so many things that you're dealing with in your life, but it's like slowly, like, you know, you kind of put yourself onto the path where you're releasing yourself, working on yourself, and also releasing things which are generational. So we are having this workshop. We'll come decide with the date. Shaista did mention the 7th, but I'm not very sure if I'll be able to do it on the 7th. But we're definitely planning one in the coming days. It will be from 10 to 5, 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. And we'll have like a shuttle break in between, just a half an hour break. And the maximum people for the cases, like your active cases, like Vanita's was an active case, will be about 4 to 5. And the rest join in as representatives. So you will be helping or supporting the work as representatives, and you will not be the active cases. So maximum we can take on for that one day is 4 to 5 cases. And the workshop will be online. It will be 500 dirhams for an active case, and 300 dirhams as a representative. And even as a representative, it is definitely going to release you in some ways or the other.
Yeah, it's very healing for the people who come as observer and representative. Yeah, so absolutely.
Yeah. So whoever is interested, just let me know, and we will get this arranged very soon.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any more questions here?
Vanita, how do you feel?
I don't have words to express how I feel. I'm going to get in
What
touch
to
with
ask you.
Shagufta and be part of the workshop because, of course, it's all these experience has brought in lots of more questions also in my mind. But it's also made me believe that these things do exist. And it can probably, I mean, maybe it's too late for me and I'm going to just start my journey to heal myself. But
No,
at least
it's never too late.
it's going
I
to
don't believe in
benefit
that.
my daughter to start now. So she doesn't suffer as much as I have, you know. At least maybe
Did you notice, Vanita, the moment your mother element started feeling better,
the
and
daughter was feeling better.
she also said the same thing. So it's actually coming from you. It doesn't
I mean, yeah, I don't deny it's coming from me. Reason being, even during my pregnancy, there were a lot of emotional, I wouldn't say torture, but there was an emotional disbalance that I had. And I can see those feelings that I had during my pregnancy. I can see her repeating those kind of things, like when I was angry or when I was upset. And I can see those elements in her somehow, which I'm now trying to improve by positive affirmations. Like she has a positive 5 positive affirmations every night before she goes off to sleep.
Wonderful.
So I try and put that onto her, and she has so basically what she does is every night since the age of 2.5, she says 5 things. She says thank you to God for 5 things that she has experienced during the day, and she does 5 positive affirmations. So this is something this is something I started with her when she was 2.5, which is when I read one of the articles. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying. So I've not done anything for myself up until now, and I want to do now so I can.
Yes, you need to
do it for my
prioritize yourself.
daughter.
I think
Yeah.
our children also teach us so much. So with their
Yes.
behavior also, it's kind of
Yes.
pushing you to really work on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, very important, because we can't say this to our mothers now. Probably for them, it's, I don't want to say it's too late, but they maybe they're already in that space now. It's very difficult to change
Yeah,
our
they are
parents.
in that space. They are in that space, and it's not
I
easier for
don't do
them
that
to
with
come
my
out of
parents
that
as well.
space.
I know, I know their mindset. So it's very difficult to change them, but at least the change begins with us, that we have to believe that.
Yeah.
Even if it takes through 2-3 years.
That is a never ending process. Like, you've got to
Exactly.
constantly keep working on yourself. And you and I, Shaista, and we've been in this space for the last 5-6 years. And I keep even talking on my group that, you have to do it every day. You have to work on yourself regularly. You can't let yourself just go.
Like a task we have come into this world with. Self-healing.
Yes, to work on yourself for probably, your future generations to kind of
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we do it with love. Yeah.
being that, doing that, it's I'm
Yeah.
improving my life also so much, with that. It's not only that I'm doing it for my future generations. It's like my life has improved in so many ways ever since I started working on myself, and
It makes you feel positive. It gives you that positive vibes, and you feel better. You feel like, you're not smiling just because everybody is smiling.
Yeah. You get to know yourself. That's the whole point. We don't want to sleepwalk all our lives. We want to be awakened once.
Yeah.
Fab. I need to do this again with you. I mean, I've done it once, but like I told you, I'll be doing it again whenever we have it again. So
Sure.
I'm participant number 2. Definitely. Okay.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I already know what I need to work on. So, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
you.
It was a
Thank you
pleasure.
so
I
much,
really
Raika.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you again, Vibha
Thanks,
and Sonal.
Shagufta. Bye-bye.
Thank you for participating
Bye-bye.
with me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Shagufta.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Zeba.